And we're back. Today, the creepypasta that I'm reading, it's really scary, and it's totally original. It's called Pac-Man NES. It was a usually beautiful day. The sun was out, birds were chirping, and it was exactly 10 a.m. on the dot. It was a boring day today, so I decided to go out with my friend Isaac to the park. A bunch of children were running around there, and I decided to take a seat on a bench. Man, today is a really boring day, I said. Come on, man, it's a glorious day. It's sunny out today. We really never get a sunny day, said my best friend of the name Isaac. I just ignored him and simply walked home. He decided to go with me. I thought it was a good enough of a day to play some NES games. Ah, the classics. Maybe Contra? Nah. Super Mario Bros? Nope. Way overrated. I decided to play Mega Man 2. After beating Airman, I eventually quit. I turned off the console and took out the cartridge. I decided to take a nap, and after that nap, it was actually the next day. It was a bit cloudy today, but I like the air breeze.
Hello, Gordon.
Then I took a walk by myself today, and across the street was a house that looked like it was under construction. It was just wood, nothing else. I was curious and went up the stairs to the next floor. On the ground, I saw a NES cartridge. It was really dusty. I decided to brush off the front, and it was the Pac-Man cartridge. I'd never had a Pac-Man NES cart, but the odd thing was, it didn't look like any other Pac-Man cart. It looked like it was in a format of Super Mario Bros. Pac-Man was jumping on the cover, and it said Super Pac-Man. I took it anyways. I walked down the stairs and run all the way home. I easily opened the door but slammed it in a rush. I ran to the living room and quickly pushed the cartridge in the console. I firmly touched the on switch, and what met me was something that said .exe presents, which was odd. In that case, it must have been a hack. I pressed the start button and proceeded with caution. Pac-Man seemed to be in a empty maze with one blue line. There was only Blinky, which was kind of odd for a hack. I moved a bit, but as soon as I pressed the down button on the D-pad, Pac-Man froze. Blinky then touched Pac-Man, and a scream came out. No 8-bit voice scream, it was a real scream. It sounded like a guy in pain. It was really scary. I jumped back in fear. Pac-Man respawned in a red background. It couldn't be blood because it wasn't leaking at all. It was just one color palette. Pac-Man had 8-bit tears coming down from the front of his face. The ghost had black eyes and red fur pupils. They were saying,
"Now you must die,"
backwards, and it seemed to be deep. They were 50 times faster than last time, and Pac-Man was 50 times slower. The ghost all got him at the same time, and Pac-Man started screaming like a girl this time. I drummed my ears in the background. I then got game over. I was scared and tried to plug out the console. The console wouldn't turn off even if I plugged it out or pressed the power switch. It was still on, even if I plugged the cords out of the AV input port. I was screaming and tried to run out the house. The door was locked. Same for the back door and the emergency door. I was frightened for my life, but instead I proceeded with the game. The graphics looked like it was better than Xbox 360, PS3, Wii U, even better than the best looking CGI or Blender film. It looked like real life, like I was watching actors. It looked exactly like that. Pac-Man was crying with tears and had actual eyes. He had legs and arms, feet, and hands. I used the D-pad and ran to the right. It was a line that went on and on and on. It felt like it was 60 years. Pac-Man then ended up at a stop where he fell off a cliff. The TV exploded, and as soon as that, I woke up. I was actually 74 years old. I was rotting. I was melting. Everything was melting from my point of view. I then exploded. I actually felt it. As soon as that, I was in a grave. I was still rotting. I then woke up in the grave, and I was not 74 anymore. I was back my normal age. I eventually found a way to break out of the grave, and I ran home. My home was shattered into pieces. My NES was broken, and that Pac-Man cartridge is still still there. It had blood all over it and it was shattered. I ran away from the house and went over to my friend Isaac's house. It was the only place I could stay. I turned on his TV in the living room and I changed the channel to the news. It said that the house at Ashland Avenue was shattered into pieces and the teenager that lived there, his parents were missing. I was worried after this, but it just made me feel strange, ... Why did I have a dream I was 74 years old? Why did the NES car act up like that? I don't really know what was going on, ... I just decided to ignore it. After that, I never ever played any Pac-Man game in my life again. Well, guys, moral of the story, if a cart says Pac-Man on it, that shit is probably beef.